He also performed the world's first hot air balloon flight on Antarctica.
Oh, hell yeah. That's cool.
More or less, that bitch went up and crashed.
No.
And Ernest was just a little injured, but he was fine.
It's like, God. Did you see in the magazine how Ernest crashed that hot air balloon? There's a whole spread about it. It took 2 pages. Oh, shit.
I didn't even think about that. That had to have been in there.
Oh,
that just had to have been.
That's
How would
front page
somebody not
news.
write that
That's
down?
front page news in the Polar Times. Crew accounts. What an idiot. Can't fly that thing in this cold place.
Did you not hear? The wind is 200 miles an hour. Hello, and welcome to Time Well Meant, the show where I don't have anything clever to say here. I'm just excited to get through this intro and take you on an incredible adventure. If you are a returning listener or joining us for the first time today, here on Time Well Meant, we like to discuss a few different things, gaming, current internet happenings, and most importantly, mental health and how that affects each and every one of us. But not today, baby. Throw all that shit out the window. This is episode number 35. And every 5 episodes around here, we like to mix it up with a deep dive into whatever topic gets us excited. And today, ladies and gentlemen, children, humans, reptiles, mammals, birds, any creature with a pulse and ears, I'm going to tell you a story that I'm really excited to tell. We're going to go on a little bit of a history lesson today. Don't worry, it won't be boring. Just let me cook. This is going to be well worth your time. Today, I want to tell you all the story of Sir Ernest Henry Shackleton, a sailor, an adventurer, and a leader who was nearly unanimously loved and respected by all of his crew. He was mostly referred to as the Boss. That was his nickname. He's renowned as one of the most important explorers during what's known as the heroic age of Antarctic exploration that took place roughly between 1897 and 1922. This guy was undeniably, certifiably badass. Okay? Speaking of badasses, I'm so excited to tell you all this story. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Kirby. I'm going to be your captain today. And I am joined, as always, by the most handsome seaman in the Southern Hemisphere. Silas, how are you doing today, buddy?
Oh, shit, that was good. I honestly, legitimately, so before we started recording, and you were telling me about like all the word count and shit, I was like, awesome, this is gonna be great. And then you started going into it, and I was like, I'm just gonna let this man talk. I'm gonna see if I can go through a whole podcast without saying a word. Oh man, you've already got me going. I'm ready. There's nothing really more to say. I'm doing all right. I want to hear about these seamen, dude.
Good. All right, well, shut up then. Let me get to it. No, I'm just kidding, man. I've been hyping this up. You've been a while now.
I can't remember. I need to give a little context to the audience because I can't remember. It was like episode 28 or some shit like that. You messaged me something about like, I know what I'm going to do for my next deep dive. And it's been like months since then. And you've been like sending me little snippets about little stories. And I'm just like, this is fucking crazy. All right. And yeah.
The bait is out. You're hooked.
I'm hooked. I'm ready. I need to know.
Okay.
I need to know how this story unfolds.
Oh, it's gonna unfold. So I did want to just right at the top here kind of state this is not a historical podcast. We're not. This is not our specialty. I'm no professional, and due to just the vast amount of content here and how much context and stuff I wanted to put into it, we are doing a little bit of a speed run through all of this. If anybody's interested, like I hope you will be, there's all kinds of content out there. There's YouTube, there's podcasts, there's books, all kinds of shit. So it's out there if you want it. But
hell yeah,
you ready to head to Antarctica?
Listen, I have a cartoonishly large smoothie. I'm comfy in my chair. I'm ready. Hit me. I'm ready to go, dude.
A cold smoothie, knowing that we're going to Antarctica, huh?
That's right.
All right, I've got my big green cup of water. Let's go. All right. Antarctica, right? first image you probably think of when you think about that is just like sweeping fields of white, mountains of ice and snow. You know, that classic image of like the wind whistling, snow flurries, right?
Hell yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah. Cold as shit.
It's a completely inhospitable place for most living creatures. It's the coldest, driest, and windiest continent on the planet. There is, like some wildlife that has developed there: seals, penguins, birds. But those have been there for hundreds, if not thousands of years, so they're adapted to it, right? The average temperature throughout the year or in Antarctica is around -46 or -46 Fahrenheit or -43 Celsius. Winds have been recorded up to and above 200 miles per hour.
Oh, fuck.
5.5 million square miles of land. 14 million kilometers for my Brits. 98% of all of that is just totally frozen for the entirety of the year. So it's just completely unforgiving, right? Nothing but penguins and seals. And then one day humans came along. Us silly, soft little humans. Prior to 1772, there's no recorded, nobody had any idea Antarctica was down there. We didn't know. Now, around 1772, there's a British explorer by the name of James Cook. And he was believed to be the first recorded human to cross into the Antarctic Circle. He starts seeing all of this ice and thinks there's got to be land down there. There's so much ice here that I can't cross through. Begins to kind of plant the idea. Maybe there's a continent there. Once again, 1772, they don't have the technology, they don't have the power of the ships to get through the ice, the floating ice, and then the solid ice that surrounds the outside of the continent. The first potential landing that we have recorded of a ship was actually by an American dude named Captain John Harris.
Fuck yeah,
That was in 1821, USA, right?
USA, baby!
That's right. It's 200 years ago, so the record keeping, there's debates, there's doubts. A lot of this information that came out, a lot of the information that was known about Antarctica at the time really just came from the sealers and the whalers that would go down there to get seals and whales.
Yeah.
Now also back then, we didn't have, the world was not as connected. News was much more important. We didn't have a lot of nobody's playing Overwatch and watching Cobra JFS and all distracted by everything. So a big bit of news, there's a whole ass continent at the bottom of the world. It's exciting. Dude, it's really exciting. Then we get to 1829. That is when Sir John Ross and his nephew James Clark Ross would do, I don't know the exact number, but multiple expeditions over about 13 years of time. And that was when we started to get a solid outline of Antarctica. We know it's down there. We had an idea of the outline, the edges, some of the mountains, some of the seas and things. There was a big focus on the scientific data at the time. They wanted to map it. This is also where we discovered the existence of the South Pole, the magnetic South Pole of the world. We didn't know that was down there. So those guys do some exploring. Some other, all the countries of the world, not all of them, but a lot of countries sent some explorers down to check it out. And basically, in prior to 1845, they thought it was cool. And then they started doing all the scientific studies, and they realized that's a big useless ice cube. There's nothing to do down there. What are we gonna do?
This place fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah, basically, they realized it sucked. There's no money to be made down there, and capitalism got to keep spinning. So they just really chilled out on it. Nothing really happened for 20 to 40 years. There's no major expeditions, nothing really cool going on. There was some kind of cool studies about meteorology around the South Pole. Nothing major. Now, we've arrived in 1895. The Belgian Antarctic expedition that would occur between 1897 and 1899 was starting to be planned out, paid for. It's going to be funded by the Belgian government. Takes a lot of work to plan some things. But this dude with a sweet-ass name is selected to be the captain. He's planning everything out. His name is Adrien Victor Joseph de Gerlache de Gomery.
Oh, shit. Was he chosen just because of his cool-ass fucking name? No other prior like experience, but he's got a sick name, guys. Come on.
He's got a sick name, Captain. There's a lot that goes into funding these massive expeditions because it's a lot of money to plan it. You need to pay all the crew, a lot of gear, a lot of time, etc. So Gerlache was able to get the funding for the expedition through various means, but he would have to sell people on it to get their funding, like investors or certain governments, organizations. And to do that, he kind of put together like the mission statement of the expedition. They had just a few bullet points on this one. Basically, in the name of Belgium, in the good name of the country of Belgium, Gerlache was going to map the uncharted geological features in and around Antarctica. The plan was we're going to land and start mapping mountains and coasts and whatever else. The second was going to be a lot of scientific research, meteorology, magnetism, oceanography, biologic studies. And I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert on that one. They did not have nearly enough equipment to accomplish the science that they set out to do. But kind of the not stated goal of this expedition, but it is going to be a really big point for our story. Because we're so early on in the technology that we need to explore Antarctica, they're trying to work out new things here. So there was an idea that if they modify the ship's hull, the ship they're going to take down there, if they modify the hull in such a way that the ship could potentially be frozen in place and not crushed, then they could potentially extend the life of these expeditions and their likelihood of survival. At earlier boats, my understanding is the hull was a little more squared. So when they would go down into these deep, like they call it an ice pack, which is just a floating ice all around Antarctica. And when these ships would go into that, if the ice would move inward onto the ship, it would just crush, the wooden ship, just crush it, sink it, gone. So the idea here that they had was we're going to make it into more of a V shape, particularly at the front, but all along the boat. So if they're going into this ice and it presses inward, they might get stuck, but it's actually going to lift the boat a little bit, not crush it and break it completely. And that should allow them to chill in place until the ice breaks up.
Just hang out.
Just hang out. That's literally, dude, that's the idea. We won't die. We'll just hang out.
Oh, jeez.
It's such a wild idea. That's so wild. Okay.
Like, oh yeah, let's. You know what? Hey, crack a couple cold ones in the cold place. That's all you got to do, man.
Yeah, man.
That's what
sure,
science
boss,
is all about, dude.
I'll just take my boat down there. I'll chill. No big deal. So yeah, this was like a discussion, but it was not planned. That's not like we're gonna go down there and chill on the ice. But maybe it happens, right?
Who knows? Hey, you never know.
You never know. So ultimately, they did just that. They modified the ship's hull. It was a lot more of a V shape, and it would prove to be pretty successful. Oh. Like when they start getting in there, they almost immediately noticed where other ships would need to really slow down, just to push through the ice slowly. With the V on the front, they just pushed off either side, and they kept cruising. All these ships at these time were running on coal as well. So
interesting.
Also imagine there's tons and tons of coal under the deck weighing the boat down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so the biggest points of this expedition that we need to take note of. The ship would end up being named the Belgica. I just think it's a cool name, the Belgica. It was a crew of 19 men. They would set sail from Belgium in August of 1897. That 19 men included the captain and one other man who's going to be important to our story later. His name is Roald Amundsen. Roald Amundsen is also another huge badass from this like period of time where everybody wanted to explore the North and the South Poles. He comes up later. He's kind of a little bit of a rival in some sense to Ernest Shackleton that we're going to be talking about. So remember that name, Roald Amundsen.
Okay.
So they set sail. It takes them over a year to get to Antarctica from Belgium. They do make a stop in Brazil. A lot of these expeditions, they either stop in Brazil or Chile, or there's another island. That's going to be a big part of the story later. They finally get there. It's January of 1898. They made it.
Can I ask, what's the real quick? Sorry to interrupt. What's the journey like?
No,
like how long is the journey from Belgium? Like in time, how much? A fucking year?
A year.
God damn.
It wouldn't take them that quite long if they could sail straight there.
Yeah.
But these ships don't have the capacity. You can't carry 100 tons of coal with you
I guess
on
that
these
makes
little
sense.
ships, which is what you need to get there. So they would end up going from Belgium to Brazil down to Antarctica.
Right. But still, I feel like a year is. I guess geographically, I think about Belgium being. I guess it
Man,
is further.
I
on
wish
the
I would
north
have looked up
side.
like the amount of miles. That'd be pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
that
here.
was. I guess that's more what I was thinking about too. Is how many miles is it? Damn.
Well, let's find out. But yeah, dude. I mean, it's just a year on the open water sailing, man.
I mean, I know that like I've done some research on like whaling because it's just a very interesting trade that we don't. I mean, it's still kind of going on, but it's not nearly as like prominent as it used to be. But like the amount of time that people would spend on these voyages, and you're like, I couldn't fucking imagine spending a week on a boat, let alone months on end.
A year.
Yeah, a year.
It's roughly 7,000 nautical miles.
God damn.
And they're using coal-powered boats back then and fighting the winds. There's not... Yeah, it doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound fun to you?
No. God.
Oh, you're going to love the rest of this.
I already know I'm not built for this sort of exploration. I'll go explore like a local park. That's what I'm built for.
Okay. Do some mapping, some geological studies.
That's already been done. I'm just there to get the secondhand experience.
Dude, one of the key things that comes out of all these explorers is that they want that glory, dude. I want to discover a mountain, I want to climb a mountain, and I want that mountain to be named after me. Or my hot girl back home. That's the way to do it. So, January 1898. They're off the coast of Antarctica, some of the closest people to have been there so far. Before they are going to be landing on Antarctica to start the geographical mapping around inside the continent, they're going to sail around and do some oceans, spot some mountains, islands, etc. They ended up just naming. They name a lot of things. I wanted to notate they arrive on the west coast of Antarctica, and we are going to have a map or two that comes up during the video. Silas will put those in, I promise. It gets a little fucky when you're in Antarctica to say west or east. Like, everything is north from Antarctica.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So if I'm referring to the west side, that's closer to South America.
Okay.
The east side is closer to Australia. The section of sea that they were in and like working on mapping out is there's like some islands off the coast of Antarctica, then the coast, and they're sailing right down the middle. That ends up later being named the Gerlache Strait after the captain. Kind of cool. That's what I'm saying, man. You get there, this is mine now.
Mine now. Yippee.
Yep. All right, so they're beeping, booping. They're doing some science. They're doing some mapping for about a month. We're into February, the end of February now, and things start to go south. See what I did there? The ship, they're cruising through this really thick ice, and the ship comes to a stop.
Mm-hmm.
The crew jumps out. This ice is so thick, they can just jump off the boat and try to ice pick it. They have explosives, they have shovels, they have different things. They are trying to get rid of the ice and keep the ship moving.
Not happening.
Belgica did exactly what we talked about earlier. Time to hang out.
So they can't put it in reverse, Terry?
No, there's no reverse.
Damn.
And even so, there's just ice behind you.
Oh, yeah, true shit. Who decided to come down here to this icy hellscape? This is crazy.
So, they spend some time trying to dig it out, trying to work it out, and they're like, well, this is it, boys. We're chilling. Break out the guitar. Time for Kumbaya.
Hell yeah.
They spent Let me see. Dude, imagine. Okay. Imagine you're stuck on the ice.
I don't want to. That sucks.
Imagine it. You're
Okay,
cramped in a boat with 18 other men on the ice, just stuck.
You and your boys.
And at first, okay. At first, hell yeah, boys. It's just us. This is no girls allowed. You make a cool sign. But pretty quickly, you're gonna be laying in your bed.
Yeah.
Listening to the ship just like from the
Freaking
ice and like shifting. Your mind is going to wander and you're going to realize you're in the middle of the goddamned ocean.
Damn.
On the ice.
What was the captain's name? What was the last name again?
This one was Gerlache.
So
You want me to say the whole name again?
No, I was just saying goulash is about to become some goulash, is what you're saying, right?
Adrian Victor Joseph de Gerlache de Gomery commands your respect.
And put that on a t-shirt. Oh, shit.
Okay, you made me lose my place.
So they're chilling on ice with the boys. Oh, go ahead.
I forgot something really important. It's not 18 men at this point. It's not 19 men. It's a total of 18 because Carl Weinke actually got washed overboard on the way to Antarctica. Yeah.
Carl was our favorite.
Rest in power, Carl.
Damn.
So you and 17 other men, not 18. There's a little more room now, to be fair. Sorry, Carl.
Oh, shit.
So, they brought supplies for a whole expedition. A lot of dried rations, teas, cocoa, interestingly. But it's pretty known that once they get to Antarctica, they're going to have to go hunt some seals and some penguins. That's just like an established part of the Antarctic expedition. But now they're frozen in the middle of the ocean. So basically, they just have to hop off the boat and walk across the ice and hope they find some seals. That's like a big part of their diet. And at this point in time, we're still in the late 1800s. They hadn't quite got a full grasp on scurvy yet. Wasn't quite understood. Right, like bringing extra fruits and meats was going to help with that.
Yeah.
So that's slowly setting in throughout basically this entire story.
Right on.
They also, being a little bit unprepared on this one, underfunded, they didn't have the best worm gear. They kind of had to makeshift a lot of stuff. So they sit on the sea for over a year.
Oh, fuck. The fact that they could survive that long is kind of crazy, though. Holy shit.
Yeah. So, once again, this was just like, hopefully the ice will melt away and we'll just carry on our way. That was the original plan.
Hopefully we can get out of here one of these days. That'd be cool.
But, so they freeze in place around February, which is actually the winter of Antarctica. It's like February to like July, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the winter, the coldest time. So the thought there is we wait a couple months, July, August, whatever, it'll warm up, we'll head on out. When it comes to the next year, the next summertime comes around what would be our winter time here in America. They start trying to get the boat out. No dice.
Damn.
So, I mean, they've literally spent the summer months trying. I mean, they've got ice picks, shovels. It's just men and ice. They're trying to get it out. No dice. So they just, back to the boat, boys. We're hanging out for a little while longer.
Back to the boat, boys.
Now, during that time, they were able to do a lot more planning. So as I mentioned earlier, they had explosives. I don't know if they tried to use them before or they were saving them. I don't know. But they had explosives in their plan the next time the next spring rolls around.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to carve with, just manually. These dudes are going out with pickaxes and shit and creating kind of like little fault lines or like holes in the ice that'll weaken it. And then they set these lines of explosive charges. So we get back to, it starts getting warm again. The ice starts getting a little less thick. And they go for it. They blow it up, break the ship free.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. At this time, this is July of 1898. So, I'm sorry, July of 1899. They finally break free and they get out of there. And they set sail back for it. They're like, fuck all this shit.
Right. See,
like
back to Belgium, baby. So they take a year to get there. They're stuck for over a year, and then finally they get out.
Yep.
Fuck that.
All of the newspapers all over the world were like, yep, they're dead. Like a year ago, they started reporting them. They're lost. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Another fun point of this, the entire year that they were trapped, they were about 1.5 miles from the open ocean. Like the edge of the ice ended.
Oh, damn.
They could walk to it. They just couldn't get the boat there.
Right. Well, they important that they needed that had to happen. Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. I'm curious. I don't think that you would know any of this. Did any like their wives like remarry or like move on or like their kids like, They had newborns and shit
Damn.
that like don't recognize them when they got back and shit.
All this research.
It's like fucking
All the research I did, and I missed the most important details.
What's that movie? I don't know why I want to call it Outcast. It's not Outcast. Castaway.
Castaway.
Tom Hanks. They
I wanted
Tom
to say
Hanks.
Survivor for some reason.
Same kind of concept. Did any of them come home and like, honey, I made it back from Antarctica? Like John, the next door like milkman, walks around the corner.
He's like, uh-oh.
You're alive.
That's awkward.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Hey Jim, good to see you. How's Carl?
Oh man. Wait, so did all of them make it back except for Carl?
So, literally the next beat. It's like you read the script. They left from Belgium. There was 19 men on the board. They spent over 2.5 years between leaving and returning to Belgium. They lost 2 men.
No.
Carl fell off the boat before they ever made it to Antarctica.
Fucking Carl.
And Emil Danko got sick and died while they were trapped on the ice.
Emil. He was our second
Rest in power, Emil.
Dude.
He really was.
He was our second favorite. That guy had the best. He was the only one who could play guitar. You know what I mean?
Was he?
He was the only one.
Amazing that you know that.
No more kumbaya after he died.
Mm-mm. It was a lot more sad after that.
It was way more sad. Damn. Honestly, though, kind of impressive that they only lost 2 guys in that whole ordeal.
Yeah. Dude,
in the 1800s, you said 1899?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's very impressive.
And there's going to be a little bit more death, but there's a surprising amount of survival in this story. Based on the factors of it, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
In March of 1898, while they were still frozen on the ice, one of the crew members, Frederick Cook, kept a diary, and he wrote this quote that just reads metal as fuck, honestly. "We are imprisoned in an endless sea of ice. We have told all the tales, real and imaginative, to which we are equal. Time weighs heavily upon us as the darkness slowly advances."
Fuck. That's awesome.
He also in his diaries or journal, he's journal, right?
Nah, it's his
He
diary.
described the boat as a floating lunatic asylum during the times they were trapped on the ice, which, I mean, it's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Roald Amundsen, who I told you is going to come up later, part of his journal, he described what he called polar anemia, which is basically just everybody's so cold and so sad and lethargic and uncaring that the whole crew is just kind of zombie-like. I mean, dude, imagine like scurvy is slowly setting in.
Yeah.
You're living on seals. You're slowly starving. You're constantly freezing.
Seals.
And they just waited and waited.
Damn.
And waited.
Yeah, fuck that. I guess they don't really
And
have
then,
like
and then
their...
summer came and they failed, so they waited some more.
As you say, it's not like modern day. You get stuck and you're like, I'm gonna digital around on my phone or fucking play on my Switch or something like that. You can't know that. You're just like, we're gonna sing Kumbaya
Play
for
tag.
like 800th time. Yeah,
On the ice.
tag. As adventurers are known to do.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
It's a man's game, you know?
Hell yeah. Playing tag, write about it in my diary later.
Everybody had journals. There's tons of quotes out there. I really only selected a few, but there's tons of quotes. Ernest Shackleton himself kept so many journals. They're really interesting.
That's good. It's good that he was able to record a lot of this cool shit.
When we get to it later, there is actually photos and videos from Ernest Shackleton's voyage. Yep.
Damn. Okay.
All right, so here we are. It's about 1900 now, and we've barely even talked about Ernest Shackleton.
The man, the myth, the legend himself.
I know. If you recall at the start, I mentioned how Antarctica had kind of begun to like excite the world at the beginning of the 1820s. Everybody's like, "Ooh, cool, new continent, let's check it out." 20, 40 years later, they didn't really care, you know? But after the Belgica made its return to Belgium, and they found out they called it overwintering on the ice. Now that they've learned that's a viable solution, the whole world took notice, and countries all over the world started planning their expeditions.
Or shooting men down south.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Get on that ice, boys.
Dude, they want to send, if you're American, you want to send an American down there.
True,
you want that American to walk on Antarctica and plant a flag. They might freeze and live on seals for a year, but plant that flag, baby. Like I briefly mentioned this earlier, this marks, like, the return of the Belgica marks the beginning of what is later going to be called the heroic age of Antarctic exploration. Which just goes hard, dude. It goes hard.
Fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's an anime arc if I've ever heard one.
One young man at the time, heard of the Belgica returning. He was already a seaman, but he heard of that and he said, "It's time for me to go to Antarctica." That man was Ernest Shackleton. He's not a sir. He's not a sir yet.
Not yet.
He was 24 to 25 years old when the Belgica returned.
Where's he? Is he from Belgium?
I'm actually... Boy, quit reading the script. This is where really everything I wanted to talk about really begins. All the stuff that leads to it builds it in my mind, so I wanted to share.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to talk about Ernest Shackleton, all right? He's born in Kildare, Ireland in 1874, and him and his family relocated to London when Ernest was 10 years old. He was the second born child of 10.
Damn.
Big families back in the day.
Yeah, really. Jesus.
He was described as a restless child by his teachers and classmates. He was also known to just be like a heavy reader. He always wanted to read. He was a mostly strong student, not like top of the class, but he's a pretty strong student. But he got bored by, science and math and that bullshit. He just wanted to read a good book. And it was notated that he always wanted to read stories of adventure, Huckleberry Finn and stuff like that.
Yep.
So at the age of 16, Ernest is like, now's the time, Mom and Dad. He basically does the South Park, "See ya, gotta go." And he sets out. He tries to join the British Royal Navy, but he was not accepted. So his next option is to join what's called the Mercantile Marines. Nowadays, you might have heard the term merchant Marines. I'm not going to pretend to understand this stuff fully, but basically the gist of what I got was back in 1874, if you were just a poor boy from a poor family, you're going to get in the Merchant Marines versus the British Royal Navy. So, that's what he did. 16 years old, he joins the Merchant Marines, and almost immediately he's put on a boat and set sailing to learn the ways. And then that's where he got his start. That's the first time he's been on a boat, first time he goes on his big adventure, and he loves it instantly. Ernest is like, this was the right choice. It's noted in reports from his higher officers in the Marines that Ernest had a really great ability to communicate with all levels of staff. It didn't really matter to him so much if he's speaking to the admiral or the captain versus just the lowly worker mopping the deck or whatever. Ernest kind of met people where they were and got along with everybody, understood and communicated well. He never held himself above anybody else, is kind of what I'm trying to say there. Mostly everybody just seemed to like him. Mostly everybody seemed to like him. There was a few here and there. It was also written by one of his higher-ups that he was quick to learn, and more importantly, quick to learn from his mistakes. That's a good note. If your boss writes that, that's a good note.
It's a very good note.
Yeah.
Very good attribute to have as a human.
Totally. So he's pretty quickly promoted. He goes up several ranks, whatever. He gets glowing kind of praises everywhere he goes. So during this time, his early years, I really should have notated that. During his early years, he's joining the Marines, and he meets a woman named Emily Dorman, and he falls in love.
Hell yeah.
Emily Dorman's family was a lot more wealthy than the Shackleton family. So when Ernest and Emily start courting, Emily's dad didn't like Ernest. He said, my daughter can do better than a merchant marine. And that is actually almost right around the time the Belgica returned. And Ernest said, I have an idea.
I know.
I'm going to impress Emily's dad by going to Antarctica.
Oh, my God. The things we do for love.
The things we do for love, man. No, as this story goes, you're going to find this man, he loved adventure.
Hell yeah.
Just couldn't stop. So now he's got his mindset. I want to join what was just announced to be called the. Where's the name?
Belgica 2.0.
No, there's like a cool name, and I wrote it. British Fund. No. Damn, I didn't write down the cool name. But this is going to be called the. They all have a cool name, but then they're just called whatever the ship was called.
Right.
Is what you're going to learn. Like the Belgica expedition is what it's called more often, but it had the Belgian something something. Anyways, so Great Britain announces their expedition. It's going to be captained by a British Royal Navy captain, Robert Falcon Scott.
Oh, that's a cool fucking name.
So many cool names.
Falcon? Jesus.
Oh, yeah. So Ernest hears that's going to be happening, and he wants in. He starts speaking to some of his higher-ups around the merchant marines, networking, making connections, you know? Networking is good, people. Networking is very good. And it works for him. He gets a recommendation from an officer, and he gets chosen as the third lieutenant. Yep, third lieutenant. Here it is. Ha. He's going to be the third lieutenant on the British National Antarctic Expedition that would later be known as the Discovery Expedition.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is another one. I got to speed run it a little bit, but there's so much cool stuff happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want the editor screaming at me if this ends up being 5 hours long.
I've had to edit shit that long before, so.
Oh, well then, hold on. I have another script.
Wait.
All right. So the stated goals and kind of the selling points for the Discovery Expedition are going to be a lot more clear and much better prepared for than the Belgica Expedition. Goal number 1, biological, zoological, geological, and oceanographic surveys. Goal number 2, the big one. Geographical exploration within the continent, surveying and naming previously unmapped parts, and most importantly of all, reach the South Pole and plant the English flag. That was it, dude. That was the big one. That's the name of the glory. That's everything to these guys at the time.
Put that flag in that bullseye.
Dude, plant that flag, baby. All the time, all the work, all the money. There's a lot of side goals, but like in the minds and the hearts, we're planting that flag. So the Discovery gets prepped up. They give it a crew. They get it all together. They leave London on July of 1901. They sail for 7 months and land on Antarctica in 1902, January of 1902. They hop around. They perform some science. They did some cool stuff during this time. Ernest himself actually created the very first regular publication to be created completely on Antarctica. It was called the Polar Times. It's essentially just like a monthly magazine. It was only a couple pages long in all reality. We can find pictures of it out there. He made like a monthly magazine, the Polar Times, and passed it out to the crew. In his mind, that helped keep people in good spirits, on these long journeys, or all the time, the cold, the misery. Here's a magazine, right? And he also allowed the crew members to write little articles that they would put in it, which added a sense of community.
Yeah.
Yep. He also performed the world's first hot air balloon flight on Antarctica.
Oh, hell yeah. That's cool as fuck.
Mm-hmm. More or less, that bitch went up and crashed.
Yeah.
And Ernest was just a little injured, but he was fine.
Like, God. Did you see in the magazine how Ernest crashed that hot air balloon? There's a whole spread about it. It took 2 pages. Oh, shit.
I didn't even think about that. That had to have been in there.
Oh,
that just had to have been.
That's
How
front
would
page
somebody not write
news.
that
That's
down?
front page news in the Polar Times. Crew accounts. What an idiot. Can't fly that thing in this cold place.
Did you not hear? The wind is 200 miles an hour.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So there's cool stuff that I'm absolutely blazing through, including Ernest climbing a mountain while he's there. But dude, they named everything. They are just cruising around down there naming shit. You see that mountain? Named. You You see this channel? Named. That gulf? Named. We got out of this adventure in this time frame right here, we got King Edward VII Land. We got the Polar Plateau, Cape Crozier, Mount Discovery, named after the ship.
Oh, yeah.
The Farrar Glacier, and the Scott Glacier, named after Robert Falcon Scott.
Oh.
Now, here we are. It's late November 1902, and it's time to make the big journey. They're going for the pole.
Hell yeah.
So a lot of work and a lot of prep goes into this. Like basically everything else they were doing stopped for a month in preparation to make the big trip. It was ultimately decided that 3 men would make the trip. That's going to be Robert Falcon Scott himself, Ernest Shackleton, and Edward Wilson. They're going for the glory of the Queen. They're going to load up sleds and sled dogs, and they're going for the South Pole.
For God, King, and Country.
For God, King, and Country. So they walk and they sled for nearly a month straight.
Fuck. Jesus Christ.
The 3 men and the dogs in the cold. Another point where so much happens. Ernest almost falls off a cliff. Another dude slides down a glacier. I mean, dude, it's Antarctica. It's wild, you know?
Yeah.
They traveled almost 500 miles straight, walking.
Whew.
On December 30th of 1902, they kind of have the moment of, we're not there yet. We don't have enough food and supplies to make it there and back. More or less, the idea is we could go and we could make it, but then we die. So probably best we turn back here.
Mm-hmm.
The estimates, like, this is all written record keeping, of course, from back then. So give or take anything I say, please. The estimates is that they were probably about 400 miles away from the pole.
Damn. It's still so far.
Yeah.
God damn.
It's so far. So they spent another month. They do a 180 and march on back. They all 3 survived. Ernest actually had a cough and some shortness of breath or maybe chest pain going on at the time. And that was another bit of the reason they decided to turn around. There's some drama that occurs here between Captain Scott and Ernest. The captain thought that maybe Ernest had some sort of lung condition before he ever joined the expedition that he never told anybody about. So that's like a big no-no. You risked our big trip. And Scott kind of blamed it on Scott. Scott kind of blamed it on Shackleton.
Ernest, yeah.
Oh, if he'd have been in better health, we would have made better pace. We would have made it.
Yeah. You're 400 miles away. What the fuck are you talking about? You weren't even close. I bet it had something to do with that fucking polar. Like, he never puts me in the polar times.
He never put me on the front page.
Yeah,
I'm the captain.
Well, he's like, fucking Captain Falcon is like, it's Captain Falcon. I didn't realize Captain Falcon's showing up all the time, and he's like, dude, I got this cool article, and Ernest was like, yeah, I'll take a look at it. And places it in the pile of like Captain Falcon articles that are just, I don't have the heart to tell him. He's just dog shit. These articles are written like a 4-year-old, unreadable.
I mean, to be fair, Scott was writing them all in like penguin blood, which kind of weird.
Not cool, dude. Not cool.
Not cool, dude. Not cool. Okay. They make it back. They're safe and sound. Captain Scott and Ernest are not getting along. They're having little bickers.
Tiff.
So Captain Scott says, "Fuck you, dude. You're going home." There was a scheduled supply ship set to come some number of months after this point to supply them up and load them up so they can continue doing more science. And the captain said, "Ernest, you're going to hop on that ship. You're out of here."
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, this was really crushing for Ernest. He didn't make it to the pole, which was one of his goals. Got sent home early. Got blamed. Whole bunch of stuff.
Didn't get to write the Polar Weekly anymore. Polar Monthly.
He never got to write the final issue.
Dude, douchebag captain sending Polar Monthly man home. Front page.
Dude, I would write multiple articles like, Bob, next month, here's the front page. Next month, here's the front page.
Like
and all of them are Captain Scott's a dick.
Just fuck Captain Falcon. Just big old like He's got like the shitty mustache and like the monocle and the devil horns coming out, like clearly drawn onto a picture of him. It's just like a big sign, asshole, pointing down at him.
Yep.
Ugh.
No, as you're gonna see here in a moment, Ernest did kind of understand, like, even though I'm being sent home right now, I still got a future here, so I got to bite my tongue a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Ernest would go on and he would make a not a damning statement, but he would kind of infer that his health wasn't really the factor that Scott made it out to be, and that there was more personal conflict that caused Shackleton to be sent home. He kind of threw it just a little bit back on Scott, saying, you know, if you'd have planned better, we wouldn't have run out of food, that type of thing. Regardless, he didn't have a say in the matter. He was not in charge, so he goes back to London. But he marries Emily in 1904. His plan worked, dude. All you gotta do is go to Antarctica for a while, come back. Girlfriend's dad, love ya.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Now I know.
Ernest was smart. He was crafty at times. He goes back. He's sent home early from work, right? And he uses that time to start what ends up being kind of like his most lucrative side hustle. Like, outside of freezing on ships in the cold and ice, he finds out he's a pretty good public speaker. And he's got good stories to tell. He's an interesting guy. And he's pretty charismatic. He's fairly handsome by those times standards. So he starts giving these lectures and speeches. And he just starts building kind of a network while he's doing that. He's meeting more people, like the Royal British Explorers Society. That's a pretty big thing. You want to impress them if you want to go on another expedition. And he sort of controlled the narrative, if you think about it, because Scott is still down in Antarctica for another 8 months.
He got home first.
Yeah, and Shackleton's back, and Shackleton's like, well, I did pretty good, and despite what you might hear later, I wasn't sick at all.
That fucking Captain Falcon guy's a real dickhead. He's making posters and putting them all over town and shit. Oh, God. Rule the day! He stepped on Ernest's name as an explorer.
Never again. So he's giving speeches. He's having a good time. He married, believe their first child was born during this time frame.
Nice.
And his status is just sort of elevated more and more as he's going around giving speeches. So much so that he would be named captain of the next great British Antarctic expedition in 1906.
Damn.
He's the captain. Yeah. He's in charge now.
I am the captain
from
now.
Top to bottom. That's right. He looked at Captain Falcon.
Dude,
I'm the captain now.
I am the captain now. So by this point, has Captain Falcon come back, or is he still down in Antarctica, just fucking around?
By 1906, he's back. Yeah, he's back by then.
Okay.
He returned and he was safe. I'm pretty sure he goes on to do another expedition or two.
Okay.
He goes on to do something. The next great British Antarctic expedition would come to be known as the Nimrod expedition. You heard me, right?
Not nearly as cool.
Nimrod, Silas.
Yeah.
This is a really goofy side note, but when I read that, I was like, why? Why would they call it Nimrod, right? So this is a fun fact, dude. I really think it's fun. Prior to 1948, the word Nimrod was a biblical term. Don't quote me on the Bible, right? But from what I read, from what I understand, it's a biblical term, and it referred to a great hunter called Nimrod.
Cool.
In 1948, in an episode of the Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny calls Elmer Fudd a poor little Nimrod. The younger generation, the children, and they would grow up to be, when they heard that at the time, they didn't know Nimrod was a biblical term. So they took it to mean, like he's like a little goofball or something, right? That's what I've always known the word
dingus
to mean. Yeah, dipshit, something like that, basically. So here we are in 1906. We're we're prepping the Nimrod, baby. Come on, that's kind of cool.
Okay.
The Nimrod expedition, under the leadership of Shackleton, would almost be a complete success. Just almost completely a success, top to bottom. They essentially had the same goals as the previous expedition. We're going to do science. We're going to name shit. We're hitting the South Pole this time.
Yep.
And they're planting that flag.
Plant that
Plant
flag,
the flag
baby.
this time.
Mm-hmm.
He fails again.
Fuck.
There's a lot to be said about the planning, the food, the dogs, the crew, the training, whatever, what have you. This time, they fall about 100 miles short.
Oh, killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
and
it the same sort of
literally
thing
the
where
same exact thing. We could make it, but then we die.
Yeah.
We have to turn around.
Fuck.
I did want to take a moment here to shout out, the whole inspiration for this, or a lot of this info and a lot of this inspiration for this episode came from a podcast called The Explorers Podcast, hosted by Matt Breen. He has an 11-part series on Ernest Shackleton,
Jesus.
which is absolutely killer. I mean, dude, he goes through every detail of all the expeditions, from their planning, who's paying for it, the bullshit Shackleton was spinning to get the funding, the ways he didn't pay shit back later on. Oh, there's so much. And I just wanted to shout that out. The Explorers Podcast. If anybody takes an interest in this story and you want way more details than I'm able to give you, check that out.
Throw some links down in the description of stuff.
Yes, we should. But ultimately, like I said, that expedition was pretty much the same. They named things, they made another run, they were 100 miles short. They left to go on the Nimrod expedition in 1907. They just barely failed to get to the South Pole near the end of 1908. Not quite the end. And Ernest was back home with his wife by June of 1909. That was a pretty quick in and out, 2-year adventure, right? Not bad.
Is she cool
Nobody
with all
died?
this? Is she like, fuck it, why not?
She didn't have a say in the matter.
Oh.
She didn't have a say in the matter. Like, straight up, that was the thing. She would be like, please stay home. I love you. I miss you. And he's like, okay, baby, I'll stay home. Every time he comes home, it's just like a ticking time bomb. Dude, he can't. He's got to go back. It's warm in London, and the man prefers the cold, the dark, and some tasty penguin meat.
Yum. Okay, all
right. He gets knighted by King Edward VII in July of 1909, a month after returning on his second failed attempt at the pole. King Edward said, my guy, you're out there spreading the word of Britain. You're Sir Edward, or Ernest Shackleton now.
Did Captain Falcon get knighted at all?
I believe he was knighted as well later on.
All right. Well, who got knighted first?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's like he released like special edition.
Robert Scott never got knighted.
Oh my god, dude! He definitely made a polar monthly on the, like, fucking front page. Captain Falcon not knighted. Suck it. Title: Suck it. Oh god. Ernest Shackleton, then a big like the better than sign. Captain Shit Falcon.
Greater than.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit.
So, he's back home for the second time. He pops out another kid. He gets knighted. He's giving speeches, making decent money, not insane.
Yeah.
So, Silas, give me a prediction what you think happens next.
He goes back to Antarctica.
I quite literally pre-wrote this into the script. You couldn't be more wrong.
Ah, damn it. He goes to the North Pole. He's like, fuck it, I'm fine in Santa.
Ooh, that'd be a twist. Actually, you're not far off, but the wrong man. Follow me here.
Okay, all right.
You remember back in 1897, I told you to remember the name Roald Amundsen?
Roald? Yeah.
Yep. So he was on that very first trip that I described back at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So when Ernest returns from the Nimrod expedition and the news comes out that Ernest fell 100 miles short, Roald Amundsen reads that newspaper and says, bet.
Watch this shit.
He immediately begins... So before Ernest could make his third trip down, which he will do, spoiler alert, Roald quickly plans and gets funded his next expedition. And it's so funny how he does this. He's getting the governments, the investors, the wealthy, whatever. And he's telling them, boys, we've all been going south. That shit's played out. This time, I'm going to the North Pole. I'm going to do new science. I'm going to see new animals. I might find Santa. We're going to the North Pole. He gets all the money. He gets all the funding. This trip, this expedition's ready to go. Roald Amundsen is the captain. They set sail. And they make a left turn and go to they go to Antarctica.
Ugh, fuck. Hell yeah.
Roald, he didn't care about the science. They're not trying to map shit.
Fuck
They're not trying to name
science.
shit.
I'm trying to
They
win.
don't care about meteorology. They don't care about magnets. He wants to get to the South Pole. That's the only goal. So with just ruthless efficiency in this Norwegian man, they go down there, land on Antarctica. They lay out a route of supply depots, like along the route that Roald will take.
Mm-hmm.
So this time, he goes and he has depots of gear along the way. He makes it there, turns around, and has more depots of gear on the way back.
Fuck, that's smart.
Why did nobody think of that sooner?
Yeah, that's. I guess that was kind of one of those things. Like, if they had supply boats coming down, yeah, that was kind of the thing that I was like in the back of my mind. Like, why aren't they just like making forward camps or like inching their way forward? They could do it within like a year. It's clear that clearly it takes a Norwegian to figure that out.
Roald and his crew also get a massive advantage. They have several massive advantages. They're not distracted by science.
Yeah.
They're from Norway, and they're very familiar with sled dogs. That's something I had to glaze over earlier. These British guys know what the fuck they're doing with sled dogs.
I gotcha.
They weren't like the best trained. They weren't the best operating
Idiots.
sled dogs. The other part of it is Roald actually found, when Ernest had making his previous attempts, there was a glacier called the Beardmore Glacier. Captain Scott and Ernest both themed that, no, we can't get around that. We can't get over that. There's no way. Or we can't get over that. We have to go around that. Mm-hmm. That adds hundreds of miles to their trip.
Yeah.
Roald Amundsen gets down there and says, boys, right over the top of that. They literally shave hundreds of miles off their trip.
Oh, man.
Yep. So the ship that Roald took was called the Fram. It's another not cool name. The Fram. Couldn't do any better than that. They leave Norway in June of 1910. They arrive in Antarctica in January of 1911. He stood on the South Pole in December of 1911, the first recorded man to ever do so.
Damn, so even then it still took him 11 months of preparation. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's still almost 1,000 miles, 700-800 miles just from the camp to the place.
That's wild.
Yep. And then by June of 1912, so he's standing on the South Pole in December. By June, he's back hanging out, back in Norway, probably getting bitched at by his investors.
It's like, dude, what the fuck?
You said you were going north, dude. Roald Amundsen is so cool. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to do another one about Roald Amundsen because he's cool as shit, and he was one of the first recorded humans to ever go to the South Pole and the North Pole.
So he did go north eventually. Okay.
Yeah, he did eventually.
He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna ball out.
Yep. He was cool, dude. He was cool. So, if you think about it, I mean, this is kind of where things could... I mean, if you're Ernest Shackleton, like, you're back in London, you're bored, it's too hot here, your life goal was just accomplished by some jabroni from Norway. Like, he's fairly successful, but he's not, like, wealthy. He's not elite. So, what do you think he's going to do now? And his goal has already been accomplished.
North Pole. I don't know.
No. This time, we do it again, and we go bigger.
You go bigger. Make it across Antarctica.
Bigger. Yep. You nailed it. Yep. That's it, dude. Yep.
We're not going halfway. We're going all the way, baby.
All the way. So, in 1912, Ernest starts planning and acquiring the funding for the big one, dude, the banger. The Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition,
that
better known.
Cool as fuck.
The star of our story, the reason we're all here today, the Endurance Expedition, named after the ship, the Endurance.
I've heard of the Endurance, funnily enough.
Oh, yeah. So this time, Ernest would make his claim to fame by not only reaching the South Pole, but by landing one ship on the west side of Antarctica, crossing the land on foot, heading east, making a pit stop and doing a little victory dance at the South Pole, then continuing east all the way to the other side of the continent, where another ship is going to pick him up.
Damn.
Ernest Shackleton is 38 years old, planning this out.
What the fuck are we doing in our 30s?
I know, dude. I'm like early 30s. I wouldn't do that. Fuck that.
Oh, shit.
So he's made a lot of connections, a lot of networking. He's pretty well known, very well known at this point. And he's able to start securing investments, getting everything hooked up and planned out. Excuse me. Very fun side note here. A little wrinkle, if you will, that Ernest ran into in trying to secure investors was that his brother was the #1 suspect in the theft of the Irish family crown jewels in 1907.
Wait a minute. What the fuck? What's his brother's name?
I didn't even.
Fucking.
I don't have time for that in my story. I'm sorry.
You fucking dick. I'm trying to get investors, bro.
Dude, that's it. The investors are like, wasn't your brother potentially like one of the biggest thieves in the world?
Why don't you ask your brother for that money, huh? Who got all that diamond money now? Oh, fuck. Would he pawn all those crown jewels?
There's, once again, always more stuff I gotta speed through. There's a lot of parts where he's like, hey, give me this money now, and when I come back, I'll give you the rights to the book that I'm gonna write, and you'll make your money back, but I'm not gonna pay you back now. So, and then he comes back, and these debts just kind of go unpaid.
He's like,
you gotta do what you gotta do to get out to Antarctica, right?
Yeah.
So he needs a crew. There's an ad that, as I researched this, is probably more than likely was not real, but it gets circulated a lot with this story. It was an ad from the London Times, December 29th of 1913, allegedly posted by Ernest Shackleton looking for crew for the Endurance expedition. And this ad reads, "Men wanted for hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success." I mean, where do I sign, right?
Right, yeah. I was going to say, 1914, isn't that World War I is still going on around that time, yeah?
1913, yeah, I think it was.
So
that definitely plays into part of the funding issues he ran into. There's like war efforts and things.
Yeah.
I think that might have delayed this a bit as well.
I'm surprised. It's like, well, I could go fight in World War I, or I can go to Antarctica. Neither sounds like a good option, but oh shit, damn.
I can't lie. I would eat penguin. I wonder what it tastes like.
Really? Yeah, I guess I would try it.
You try it, right?
Yeah. I'd try everything once.
I feel like seal would be gross, but I'd try it too.
Seal would just be really chewy. They're really fatty. It's like a lot of blubber. I've seen there's like was it the Inuit people, like as like native people in like Alaska and stuff like that, or in like or like the northern parts of Canada who've survived off like blubber and stuff like that, and they have their own way of eating it and have done it for generations, right? So totally
even grandma's recipe for seal blubber.
That's right. Well, it's always interesting to watch them because they're like, it's like the blubber is like basically frozen. Take this with a grain of salt. This is just like videos and shit that I've watched. Like it's like frozen and they cut it. It's like they really have to struggle to cut this stuff, and then they take some like soy sauce or whatever it is, and like it's like some sort of sauce or whatever they're doing, and just eat it. And then yum. I'm like, okay.
Yum.
Yeah. I'd try it.
Another little bit of this research, dude. Do you have any idea how big whaling and sealing really were back in like late 1800s?
I have, yes. Honestly, I would love to do
for everything, and it ruined everything.
Mm-hmm. I actually would love to do just like a deep dive on whaling and how, because I've done some research on different whaling. There's one whaling expedition in particular where they got shipwrecked and they were shipwrecked for like months and like ate each other and shit. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
very famous. Yeah.
Awesome.
Very, very famous story of them eating the crewmates, and I think only a couple of them survived and shit like that. But yeah, whaling, what it did to the environment, and
Crazy.
again, that's what I was saying. Like, we use whales for everything. It was insane to think about the population of whales then versus, and like within, not even 200 years that we just fucking decimated these populations of these animals. It's crazy. That's another story for another time. We don't give a fuck about the whales. We're talking about cold stuff.
Back to the topic of eating penguins. Would you try dog?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, that's good to know. That's not foreshadowing. Two of the most important men who would respond to this ad were Tom Crean and Frank Worsley. You don't necessarily have to remember their names, but I'm not exaggerating. If it weren't for these two men, the story doesn't end the way it ends. These dudes were also badasses. I'm blazing past a billion details, as I've said 100 times. But here we are. This is August of 1914. We got two ships, the Endurance and the Aurora. 58 men total. That's 28 per ship. 69 sled dogs. Giggity.
Hell yeah.
3 motor sledges, which are basically essentially like old Model T Ford cars, like the early versions of cars.
Okay.
All 3 of those cars absolutely fall apart and fail miserably on their first use. Totally useless in the ice and snow of Antarctica.
Sounds about right.
Tons of scientific survey equipment, cameras, and audio gear.
Damn.
We got pictures. We got pictures from this, and they're incredible. Lifeboats, food, tents, skis. They also brought skis, which do end up helping them out later on. No, I'm sorry. I don't think that ends up helping them out on this trip. Another trip that helped.
Okay.
From the trips that Shackleton had taken before, he was so much better prepared about what he needed, what the crew would need, what they would experience. I mean, he's an experienced badass at this point. He's already a badass. So he planned way more thoroughly. Really seemed great. Like he had it all figured out. He had a great crew. And everything seemed off to a great start. Really well planned. Go time. Spirits were so high in the crew. Everybody was so excited to get this expedition underway and so confident in the potential outcomes that when the ship launched on August 8th of am I reading this right? Yeah. August 8th, 1914, as the Endurance was making her leave from London, my main man, my dude, Timothy McCarthy, he gets so excited. He climbs up the mast of the ship and falls into the ocean.
Fucking idiot.
He's quickly rescued, totally unharmed, but that's day 1 of the Endurance expedition. Good sign. Good sign.
God.
For the entire rest of the story, I'm not going to talk about anything but the Endurance expedition, but that was a 2-part thing. As I mentioned, there's 2 ships, going to be on both sides of the continent, so I'm just going to let you know what happened to the Aurora right here, right now. The Aurora, the plan was to go around to the east side of Antarctica and lay supply depots for Shackleton and his crew, whoever he goes with him. When they make that trek to the South Pole, they'll go a little further past that, and they'll start finding these supply depots so they can make their walk all the way to the other side of the coast. And this, think about that for a moment. I really have to just stop and think about this for a moment. This is 1914. You get on one ship and I get on the other. We're going to split apart and I'll just start walking and hopefully you laid those supply depots, right? It just...
real flip of
the
the
coin. It seems so crazy. Yeah, dude. If the other ship...
I was going to say, who's captaining the Aurora? Do you know?
Another thing I should have notated.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, Dickhead McGee. But dude, what if the Aurora sank and then Shackleton succeeded and he's walking and they're just like, uh-oh, where's the food?
Well, I feel like if they laid, maybe, this is in my brain, if you laid enough stuff going out, you know what I mean? Like if you have the supply depots to make it,
turn around.
you could just turn back and be like, okay, yeah, maybe not. Like if you make it to
like
where the
those
first
boys fucked up, time to turn around.
Let's get the fuck back out of here. Logically speaking, but
My mind just goes to the thought of Ernest and crew succeed on their end. They hit the South Pole. He finally made it, dude. Woo! Yippee, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep walking, boys. And just keep walking. And there's no food. How long do you keep walking before you realize, like, we've gone too far? We're fucked. We're standing in the middle of Antarctica. We are dead.
I feel like, yeah, there's definitely a moment of like, oh fuck. But he's realized multiple times before, like, we're not gonna make this shit. Let's turn the fuck back around, right? So
True. That's kind of a mark of like a great leader, and gets notated later on. Like, it was a smarter decision to turn around 100 miles short than to kill all the men. It's only like 3 or 4 on that trip. So, spoiler alert, shit goes south for both ships.
oh god.
One worse than the other. The Aurora actually landed on Antarctica as planned, and they laid down all the supply depots, just as they were supposed to do.
Oh yeah.
And pretty shortly after they finished laying the supply depots, some storm hits, and the Aurora was like anchored near the edge of the continent, or maybe to the continent. I don't know the exact how that works. The storm hits and tears the anchors out of the ship, and the ship is just pushed out to sea, where they will drift for the next 9 months in the ice.
Whoops.
Man, another missed detail. They had parked the boat off the coast. They had made a camp. There's 10 men at the camp when the storm hits and the boat floats away. So now that crew is split. I guess that would be, 14 people on the boat, or 18 people on the boat and 10 on the land. Anyway, that crew gets split, and the Aurora drifts away for 9 months. After 9 months, they break free of the ice. They sail to New Zealand. They get repaired. They get supplied. They return back, and they rescued 7 of the 10 men left behind.
Oof.
The other 3 passed away.
7 out of 10 is pretty solid numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was nearly a year. I mean, like, they were already in Antarctica. They laid the depots. These 10 guys are chilling, and they watch the boat float away. And then they wait for another year before a boat finally shows up. Hey, boys.
Hey, you guys still here? Hi. Jesus Christ.
Yep. So, once again, I had to speed through everything. The Explorers podcast, if anybody's interested. So good. So, we're going to go. It's time for the Endurance. Shackleton and crew departed England in August of 1914. In November, they arrive at South Georgia Island. This is a small island almost exactly halfway between Antarctica and South America. At the time, this island is basically nothing but some stations and ports where whaling ships would land, resupply, and process whales, I guess.
Yeah.
South Georgia Island. That's roughly halfway between Antarctica and South America. I'm stating this again because it's going to come up later.
Okay.
They land on South Georgia. They chill for about a month, making preparations to head to Antarctica. During this time, the whalers who are on the island report to Shackleton and the crew, like, the ice is actually already looking a little bit thicker than normal for this time of year when you head closer to Antarctica. ...
Ooh.
Totally unbothered by this, Shackleton and the crew set out in early November, planning to sail straight to the continent and land on it and make their camp.
Fuck it, we ball.
Within a few days of setting sail from South Georgia to Antarctica, they start seeing floating ice.
Oh, Christ.
Which is much, much earlier than they should have started seeing it.
Not a good sign.
Yeah. They spend the Christmas of 1914, some 8,000 miles away from their families back in England, just slowly trudging through the ice. As I said, like, they expected ice. This is a known thing of going to Antarctica, but it came up sooner than they were ready for. So one issue that they have here, obviously, you can't just plow through ice, potentially damage your ship. They have to go kind of slowly, and then it actually uses more coal when they're slowly going and pushing all of this ice around them. They have to consider their coal usage. It's a factor right now because if they burn too much on the way to Antarctica, they don't have enough to get back to South Georgia.
Yep.
That one is actually not foreshadowing. Coal usage will not be a problem in this story. Slowly but surely, they're sailing across the Weddell Sea on January 10th of 1914. They see the coast of Antarctica. They're about 30 miles away. They can see it. Cool. Yippee. Huh?
Woohoo!
Ice is still really thick, so they're just slowly making their way there. 8 days later, the Endurance comes to a halt. Frozen in the ice, completely immobilized.
Oh, no.
Same situation as before. They use the explosives, they try digging it out, cracking it. They're stuck. Diary entry from January 18th of 1950 by Ernest Shackleton. The floes around us are pressing in. The ship is held as if in a vice. Dude, he was a goddamn poet.
Hell yeah.
And that was it, man. They were stuck. It didn't take too long for Shackleton and the crew to understand this is the plan. This is what happens sometimes, and this is what we'll do. Time to hang out.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Damn.
Sometimes maybe cold. If all went well, they're going to hang out here for a few months. The ice is going to loosen up. And they head on to Antarctica, and they cross that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, spirits are still pretty high, I mean, even though your ship is stuck, these men were, like, oddly okay with it.
Yeah. So I have a quick question. So they're stuck in the ice, but they can't... Is the ice not connected to Antarctica at all? Can they not just, like, walk over the ice to Antarctica?
Theoretically, yeah.
Fuck it.
I guess it's only 30 miles, but they also have tons and tons and tons of gear.
That's 30 miles added. I don't know. In my eyes, it's just like you're setting up. You know for a fact that you only have a 30-mile trek, or 30 miles added onto your trek. Set up, start from there, man. Fuck it.
I feel like there's got to be some reason they wouldn't do that.
I'm sure there is.
But it does sound a little logical.
The ice might break under them.
Here shortly is a small argument against that, but I'm thinking when they froze 30 miles to the shore, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, as it comes up later is when they try to haul so much gear, they're just moving so slowly.
Okay.
That it's a huge drain. I don't know. Another failed point of research. Thanks, buddy.
That's what I'm here for.
So they froze, and they start hanging out for the next 9 months. 9 months. Just 28 dudes and 69 dogs.
Hell yeah. 69. Nice.
There was a dog named Satan. I found that cool. Like, they had a dog named Satan, and nobody was bothered by that. That's pretty cool.
Satan down, boy.
That's right. There was also a Samson and a Snowball, if that interests you at all.
On Samson, on Satan, on Snowball, and Blitzen.
They had sleds, too. Totally.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Just... Dude, Satan will haul you 30 miles. You're right. This whole story's bullshit.
Oh, shit.
So, I mean, what do they do here? They hang out. They try to pass the time. Yeah, no, actually legit. I mean, they sang songs. They played cards. They actually performed small plays. And they held mock trials as just a fun way to pass the time.
That's kind of awesome.
I mean, what do you do, bro?
True, yeah. You can't break out the DS, yeah.
That's so funny. We both said that. They did have to hunt, so you know what? They probably did walk to the land because they hunted seals and penguins.
That sounds like, motherfucker, you go. Well, I guess, but again, you were right though. Like, it's one thing to walk with your hunting gear; it's another thing to walk with all of your other fucking gear that you're going to set these
Tons.
Yeah, because they have to set the depots up still and all that shit. So.
The cook, it was notated that during this time, the cook got better over time. That was in the diary entry. Got better over time at the art of cooking penguin.
Okay. The first couple times, like, this sucks.
That's actually the way it was described. Like, the first couple times, he wasn't very good at it. Yeah.
Had he ever done it before?
Then, after 9 months, you're like, oh, serve it up again, that penguin.
Oh, that penguin slaps, dude. That's yum. Delish. I'll take seconds. Oh, fuck.
Like I said earlier, they were still in fairly high spirits. This isn't wildly off the plan. Everything will be all right. I have a little bit of bad news for you. We got to eat the
Satan died.
dogs.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Satan did die.
No, Satan. Oh, he was our favorite.
So by this point in the history of exploration, scurvy's much better understood.
Okay.
Shackleton understood that if his crew didn't get a constant supply of fresh meat amongst the other supplies that they brought, scurvy could set in, and that leads to all manners of health issues. Since dude, this is the part that sucks. Now the ship is trapped in ice, right? And it's just 2 meters of ice beneath. I mean, it's literally just a ship sitting on top of an ice cube. And ice cubes float. So while they're waiting on the boat for 9 months, the ship would slowly drift 300 miles further away from the coast.
Oh, fuck.
They started 30 miles from the coast, and in 9 months just watched it slowly drift away from them.
Fuck.
Among this time, though, there's incredible photos. Actually, dude, you should pull up the Sir Ernie Pics channel right now and look at some of the photos. The first 3 that you'll see here in this are just Ernest Shackleton. He's a man's man.
He is a man's man. Yeah, you got that.
But the pictures where the boat is stuck in the ice
He really stuck with that hairstyle, too, over the years.
He did. Yeah, he did. These photos, I mean, it's just black and white. It's a ship stuck in ice, more or less. But you see the men hanging out walking the dogs. You see a picture of the dogs kind of just lounging all around the ship. It's kind of amusing.
Oh, my God. That thing is fucking submerged.
Yep.
Jesus.
And that was the cameraman, Frank Hurley. Frank Hurley was the cinematographer and videographer. He had the camera and the equipment and got all of this for us. Thank goodness for him.
Great photos, honestly, yeah.
And thank goodness that these survived. These are definitely all like retouched and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta, yeah. Damn, that's crazy.
And Silas, you may or may not believe this. Disaster will strike again.
No!
On October 27th, we've been here since January 18th. On October 27th, the Endurance finally moves. Not in a good way.
Oh, fuck. This thing fucking sink.
They were awoken by a massively loud cracking sound.
No.
As the ship had slowly been lifted nose upwards, the bow broke forward. And we don't sink yet, but it's all but assured. The ship is fucked. It's going down. They can see the wood slowly twisting, and it's going to break. It's not going to hold. So October 27th, Shackleton orders the crew to abandon ship. Gather all the supplies, and we're going out on the ice. You good? Are you muted?
Yeah, I was like, my cat's like sneezing. I was like making sure he's good. He's good.
Oh.
I think he just like woke up. I was like, oh, God. Anyways.
Just woke up and had a sneezing fit that never happens to you?
No, not really. You good, dude? All right, he's good now.
Okay. Cat's good. Dogs are dead. Cat's good.
No. Dog. Satan's dead. Cat's okay, though.
Snowball too.
Fucking, oh, my God. Samson?
Yeah. Samson, dead. Fuck. He was delicious, though.
Oh, my God. Cooked him up teriyaki style.
Ooh. So the ship is breaking. It's going to be fucked. Shackleton orders everybody to abandon ship. They start gathering the supplies, everything they can, slowly but carefully, obviously.
Yeah.
They scientifically were about 350 miles from the nearest island or land. Fuck. Just standing on solid ice, watching their ship slowly sink.
Hell yeah.
But she actually holds on for 4 more weeks.
Oh.
They're watching it just slowly. Like, they're watching it break in such a way that they know it's fucked. And they've heard the shifting of the ice, but it's not actually sinking yet.
Yeah.
Until November 21st of 1915. They hear yet another massive crack, The nose of the ship begins to rise straight up, cracks the whole boat in half, and both halves just bloop down into the water. At 5 p.m. on November 21st of 1915, Frank Worsley wrote, "She heaved herself up and broke into. The ice closed over her like a tomb."
Damn.
The same night, Ernest Shackleton wrote a short and poignant entry in his journal. "She is gone. I cannot write about it."
Okay. Shit
But come on,
sucks,
dude.
man.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Shit sucks. But think about this, dude. You're standing on ice. Your boat just went down. Like, it's brutal. That just sucks. So, they don't have a whole lot of choice. They know they can't just stand in the middle of open water. Yeah. They attempt to walk to the nearest island. And all of this is kind of guesswork as well, based on where their cartographer or navigator thinks they are versus where he thinks they've drifted versus where he thinks the island is, right, based on maps that are, they gather up all the gear, tons of gear on the sleds, start hauling it by man because they don't have dogs anymore. Hauling by man.
Well, they eat all the fucking dogs? Oh my God. I didn't realize they ate all 69 fucking dogs. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't use any of that fucking dog power to haul the... Okay, all right.
The issue that they run into here, as they're trying to walk in the direction of what they believe is the nearest island, they're carrying so much shit and they're moving so slowly. And the ice is slowly drifting in the opposite direction of them. It's basically a big, sad, slippery treadmill. I mean, right? So, what do? They're fucked. They sit and wait yet again. They're hoping that as the ice drifts, they'll hopefully put them closer to an island at some point. And it's just, I imagine being in this situation, you just feel hopeless, right? Like,
fucking, I feel like my day is ruined if I spill a glass of something, right? I can't imagine fuck, I'm floating on a piece of ice in the middle of,
my ship went down, ocean. I ate my dog.
Yeah.
I try to think how would I cope in that situation? And really the only thing I can think of is I'd just be dreaming of getting back to my family,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even know that I would be I want to survive and conquer this as much as I want to get home to my wife and son.
Home. Yeah.
Damn. It's just kind of a note of the human condition, right?
Yeah.
But they had Ernest, actually, and he was great at motivating them. He tried to keep them busy. He tried to keep them hopeful. He did, like I said earlier with the meat, he did his best at every chance to keep them healthy, keep them active, hopeful, distracted. He would actively try to assign work duties in such a way so that if Ernest thought this crew member A was excessively negative and crew member B was sad today, we don't put them together.
Right.
Those are the sociological factors that Ernest was dealing with here. Dude, they called him the boss. They called him the boss for a reason. He was the boss. They all respected him. They all loved him. They all trusted him throughout all of this. When Ernest said get off the boat and go stand on the ice, they said, yes, sir. No question.
Yes, boss.
Yes, boss. That's right. So they park it on the ice here. They form a makeshift camp, which they call Camp Patience. And they practice their patience. There's nothing to do for them here. They just wait. Wait and hope. Wait and hope. Hope that the ice carries them to an island. And hope that they don't get carried out to the middle of the sea. Because if they get carried the wrong direction, the ice is eventually going to get thinner, crack, and GG. No re.
Yep.
4 months chilling in camp patience, the ice beneath their feet begins cracking more and more. And they can feel also the ice begin to rise and shift more and more, which is their signal that they're getting closer to open water, right? Like the ice is going to crack and give, or they'll reach the thinnest point and it'll break off.
Fuck.
On April 9th, they are able to get they have 3 lifeboats with them. And they're able to get those 3 lifeboats down into open water, get as much shit as they can into it. And once again, they're on the water, man. They're on the move. They're free of the ice, finally. Whoopee, right? No.
No. These are fucking lifeboats.
3 22-foot-long lifeboats.
It's not big
They
at all.
set sail for 7 days
Mm-hmm.
in the icy, dangerous oceans near Antarctica. They finally land on an island called Elephant Island. I think, if I remember correctly, I got a picture of... nope, just kidding. Wrong island. Elephant Island is basically... it's real small. It is... I didn't notate this one. It's a real small island. Basically, a beach, cliffs, penguins, luckily.
Yum. Dinner meat's back on the menu, boys.
Yeah. This is the first time these men had stepped foot on solid ground since December 5th of 1914.
Fuck.
They've been on the water for 497 days. 71 weeks. 16 months. Just to give you some perspective. And they're finally standing on land. Yippee, right?
Yippee!
Yeah.
Wahoo!
Oh, shit. Here's where I notated this. I went a little out of order. So Elephant Island, for reference, is roughly the same size as Manhattan Island in New York. It's 29 miles.
As what?
Manhattan Island in New York. It's 29 miles wide. 29 miles long, 16 miles wide. It's just jagged cliffs and glaciers. There's not a whole lot of flat land on this island, which was great in that it provided them shelter from the wind. They were able to, build a shelter. But there was a huge population of penguins on this island, and these poor little happy feet, poor little tuxedo boys, had never seen a human before in all their days.
Oh no! And they're like,
so these guys would just,
big guys.
Hey, they'd walk right up to the humans and the starving, hungry humans.
Oh my god!
You can guess how that ends.
Oh, that's awful. That sucks.
But they're on an island, dude. They're alive. They have food. They have some decent shelter at this point. What do we do now? So they start weighing their options, and they're not good.
Yeah.
They'd been gone for so long at this point. Most people back in the civilized world. Ernest died.
They're fucking
Endurance,
dead.
gone.
Yeah.
Dead. They're fucked. So there's little to no hope of them, like a rescue ship being sent to look for them.
Yeah.
And even if a rescue ship were to come, this island that they're on is way off their course. They would not be looking for them there. So they can wait and hope, or they can make a desperate, crazy attempt to sail a lifeboat across the ocean to another island. They have a couple options for these islands. They could potentially try to sail to another kind of closer set of islands that was called the Falklands or the Deception Islands. They anticipated or estimated that those islands would be bigger, potentially a better place for a camp, but also kind of pointless because they're not going to find us here. They're not going to find us there either.
Yeah.
So, you remember South Georgia Island?
Hell yeah.
It's about 800 miles away.
Fuck.
Across what is now known as the Drake Passage. You ever heard of that one? Yeah.
It sounds a little familiar, but
It's a passage of the ocean between Antarctica and South America. It's called the Drake Passage. Even today, with modern ships and modern technology, it's the most dangerous part of the ocean on the planet.
Hell yeah.
22-foot lifeboat. So, the boss makes the call. A big ball move, calculated gamble. Himself and 5 men would take one lifeboat and make for South Georgia Island.
Oh, so they're leaving the rest of the homies just like with these penguins.
Yep.
Oh shit.
So the plan here, they had 3 lifeboats to start with. They're
Yeah.
basically going to partially dismantle 2 of them to build onto one and make it bigger and better.
Yeah. Yeah.
The extra parts would actually go to be used as like shelters for them on the island. They end up taking, like I said, parts off the other 2. They build this one. It's actually called, the name of this lifeboat is the James Caird. I assume that means something to somebody, but they built it up and made it taller. They made it sturdier and like thicker. And they also built a deck or like a cover over the top so that the crew could go below the deck, right? And get out of the waves, the rain, wind. That's so crazy, dude. So the 6 men, Ernest, of course, Tom Crean, Tim McCarthy, John Vincent, and Harry McNish. These 6 men, who most likely had 12 massive balls, were the ones chosen to make this suicide mission. As I said, they put the boats together, and they hoped it would be enough, and on April 24th, they set sail.
Oof.
Remember earlier I told you, like, Frank Worsley was so important to the success of this. He was the navigator. Using his skills and the very best technology of 1915, he was able to calculate all of this, dude. He was able to calculate where they were, just based on where they had started.
Fuck.
Where he believed South Georgia Island was going to be, the current, the direction of the currents, and the wind that would affect them. Basically, for this whole trek in this little lifeboat, he's just constantly recalculating by looking at the skies and looking at the horizon. There's a map. You might want to take a look at it, actually. It'd be a good time. It is the first
map?
Yeah, the first map. You see the dotted line from Elephant to South Georgia?
Yeah.
So if he didn't calculate that right and they missed, or the current carried them further north, they're just going out into the open ocean towards Antarctica, or Africa. Like, if he doesn't nail this, they're fucked.
What the fuck?
Journey was brutal, dude. I mean, 6 men in a small boat, constantly freezing, constantly raining, windy, rocking. They're eating dried rations. That's really all they have left at this point, down under the deck. They're all soaking wet and freezing at any given moment.
Yeah.
And cramped, of course. They have a small stove under the deck, which they can make beans and tea.
Yum.
But it's also a massive hazard to have a small stove on a rocking ship in a 22-foot lifeboat.
Yeah.
Every single bit of this is crazy, dude. Every single bit of this is crazy. The most dangerous section of the ocean in the world. And they make it.
Fuck.
It was... Man.
I just saw on the map, it was 800 nautical miles. Was it
16 days at sea.
16 days?
16 days in that lifeboat.
To
And they
do
land on
800
South.
miles? That's kind of crazy.
Yep.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. At points during those 16 days, ice would build up on different parts of the ship, and they would quite literally have to climb out on top and hang off the boat over the ocean waters and scrape off ice, because it could throw off the balance of the boat, add extra weight, and sink them.
Hell no. Jesus.
They fucking made it, man. They made it. They hit South Georgia Island, dead on the money, thanks to Frank Worsley.
Frank?
But they land on a corner of the island that's completely uninhabited and is about 17 miles away from the nearest whaling station.
Damn it.
If you want to check out the very next map, you can see the trek that they're about to walk across this island. Because there's no choice. They made it this far. They have to walk.
Jesus.
I believe it was John Vincent at this time was having health issues. So it's decided that Harry, John, and Tim are going to stay behind. They've landed on South Georgia. They have an idea of where the nearest station is. They have an idea of where they are. Nothing left to do but walk it.
Is this the same Tim that fell off the boat at the beginning of the story?
Yes, I think. Actually, no way.
Idiot.
I think you're right. I knew that name sounded familiar.
This fucking asshole.
No, that was Timothy McCarthy.
Okay. All right. Well, the Tims on this boat suck.
It was Tim McCarthy.
Okay, yeah.
It was Tim McCarthy. Hey, man. Start strong, end strong. He made it to South Georgia.
He did make it South Georgia. Oh, shit.
So those three are going to chill back at the beach camp because they're not feeling good.
Okay.
Frank, Ernest, and Tom are going to make this walk.
All right. Easy peasy.
So after everything, dude. Ship sinking, stranded on the ice, crossing the most dangerous part in the world. The boys back on Elephant Island still needed him, and Shackleton was not going to stop at this point.
Yeah.
They start walking and climbing mountains, mountainous areas, climbing up and down glaciers, falling over, walking through waist-high snowbanks. 17 miles, 36 hours straight.
Oh, fuck.
They did not stop. They did not sleep. They did not rest. They finally come upon Stromness Station, South Georgia. And for the first time since 18 months ago, when they left this exact island, Ernest Shackleton sees another living human being.
I'd cry.
The whalers who found them had already seen and heard news and stories, and they figured Shackleton and the whole crew was dead. So they're just amazed and surprised. 3 men come walking out of the snow in the middle of this island in the middle of the ocean. And they're even more surprised when they learn this is Frank Shackleton.
Fuck. You mean Ernest Shackleton?
I'm so sorry. Ernest Shackleton. Thank you.
A lot of
and
names,
not only
right?
that,
Yeah.
there's so many names.
So many
but
names.
not only is this Ernest Shackleton, the dirty man, just tired, beaten, battered, and bruised, but he's telling you, you've got 3 other men on the other side of the island, and we gotta go right fucking now. Like, Ernest is like, right fucking now.
Right.
But these things take time. They bring those 2 in, or they bring those 3 guys in. They get them fed. They get them some medical care, a little rest, shower, you know. The very next day, they're on a whaling boat going around the other side of the island, and they rescue the other 3. Still good, right? Next on the to-do list, they have 22 more men still stranded 800 miles away on Elephant Island. So the next part of the story takes a month.
Oh, shit.
And Ernest Shackleton never stops at any point. We're getting my boys back. He gets one of the whaling boats, and they go to Chile, where he petitions the government to fund a ship and a crew to go rescue his boys.
Damn.
And that's what they do. He convinces them, or maybe just bitches at them until they give in.
Please.
He gets a boat, he gets a crew, and Ernest himself on that boat straight back to Elephant Island. He just refused. He's not going to stand around and wait to hear what happens to his men. He's going.
Yeah.
On April 13th, 1916, the 22 men waiting on Elephant Island would spot a ship on the horizon. It's been 4 months since Ernest and the crew departed for South Georgia.
Damn.
One of the things that they noted here, which I just think is cool, Ernest himself was right on the bow of the ship from the moment they began to spot the island with binoculars, counting his men. Because he wanted to make sure, if he lost anybody.
Fuck.
He counted 22 men from the boat. Every single one still alive.
Damn.
Not a single loss of life.
Except for penguins.
On the Endurance ship. We had some loss of life in the Aurora. Well, okay, I guess loss of life. I did word that poorly. Not a loss of human life.
There you go.
There was a little bit of disaster that struck for the Aurora, but ultimately they were okay.
Yeah.
And that is kind of it.
So there's the 28 on the Aurora, and then the 24 4
8.
on the... Oh, was it 28 on
28.
both ships?
Mm-hmm.
They only lost 3 people in both missions.
I believe those were all on the Aurora side. Yep.
Yeah. But I'm saying both missions combined, they only lost like 48 guys or however, or 56 guys. They only lose 3 of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking
Sounds
impressive. Right. There's some
impressive.
surviving. But so wait, so they... You were saying that was it? That's it? That's the end of the endurance. More. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean that's it for the endurance. Everyone goes home, a little worse for the wear, a little cold, a lot of frostbite, a little scurvy. Yeah. But I mean, all those men basically went home, lived happily ever after. There's just a little bit more that we got to close the story up right here.
Ernest didn't fucking cross the thing.
Dude, after all that, they're going home. What the fuck are they gonna do?
Well, I'm saying he was like, his set out and his goal was like, I'm gonna cross this motherfucker. He didn't do it.
Didn't even get to Antarctica.
Oh my god. Did he ever try it again? What happened?
Hold on.
Okay, I'm jumping ahead. I'm excited
now. So I mean, after such a wild life of adventure and accomplishment, what do you think he's gonna do, Silas?
Do more.
He's got to do it again.
Go again.
For the next 6 years after that, he would just give lectures. He wrote a book, of course.
Of course.
He spent a little bit of time working for the Royal British Navy as a diplomat, which it turns out he wasn't very good at. But he was doing well. But adventure called that man. It never stopped calling that man.
Yep.
And now, after the Endurance expedition, he's basically like royalty within the exploration society, community, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So when Ernest popped up and said, I'm planning another trip and I need investors, people were just throwing money at him, dude. Here you go.
There you go.
Which is kind of crazy considering it was kind of an utter failure, but he didn't lose a man. So
True.
It was like,
yeah.
It's a testament to his leadership is what that is.
Absolutely.
So through his status and work in networking and charm, he would end up getting the funding for what would be his final hurrah. The Shackleton Rowett expedition had muddy goals. There was no clear, concise plan. It was not, we're going there, we're hitting the South Pole, we're doing this science and coming home. He basically said, we're going to the South Pole, and we're going to map some stuff. But it's Ernest Shackleton. Who gives a fuck? Give him money. Yeah. It's going to be cool, right?
It's going to be sick, dude.
The exact stated goals were explore unvisited parts of the Antarctic coastline, conduct scientific research, and possibly circumnavigate the continent. If you have time for that, if you can squeeze it in. So the ship for this expedition is called the Quest. The Quest sets sail on September 24th of 1921. Ernest Shackleton is 47 years old. En route to Antarctica, they stop back at Ernest's favorite island, South Georgia. That's like a common place to stop for supplies and refuel and etc. And it was here on this very island where Ernest had secured his place in history. He would have a heart attack and pass away.
What?
Yep. Never made it back.
What the fuck?
There's a lot here that I kind of skipped over of like drinking and smoking his whole life.
Right, yeah.
There were some health issues.
Oh, man.
He's almost 50 years old in 1921. I mean,
what a way to go.
So they send message from South Georgia Island to his wife back in London. They let him know, your husband's passed away. We're going to make a return trip to bring his body back to you. And she responds and says, no. Bury him on South Georgia.
Oh, shit.
And that's where he's buried to this day.
Damn.
And that is truly the end of the story. Rest in power.
Dude.
Sir Ernest.
Sir Ernest. What the fuck? What a life.
Dude, right?
So
if I could live half the life.
Yeah. So who was the first person to cross Antarctica?
Oh, I don't know.
Who gives a shit? That guy fucking sucked. He wasn't this fucking guy.
He wasn't this guy.
Damn. Good old what's his face.
I mean,
that's quite the life.
it's just the wildest
quite the
story.
adventure. Damn. When you really think about it, he didn't really accomplish anything.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Never made it to the center. Never made it across.
Failed 3 times.
Died. Didn't even make it the 3rd time. Oh man.
4th time.
Fourth time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did make it almost 2. He made it 2 times. He didn't make it
Actually,
the 3rd
twice
time
he didn't
either.
even make it there.
Yeah. Holy shit. But he did it in style. He failed in style. I think that's.
He failed in the most epic fashion.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just the 800-mile boat ride across the craziest part of the ocean, landing on a small island, and saving everybody. And that's the selling point of the whole story.
Yeah, that's wildly impressive.
Yep.
I want to give a little context. So I was in Duluth, Minnesota earlier this year. I have not been smoking and drinking my whole life. I'm also only 33. And I did a mile hike when I was there in Duluth, and I was like, I had to be like, we need to call somebody to drive up here and drive us down because I can't make the trip back. So 17 miles is nuts. Oh my God.
Pretty bad, bro. You should hit the gym.
I should. Well, I've been walking a lot. Funnily enough, I've been walking a lot more. My job, and then I have noticed that like even without hitting the gym, I'm getting stronger because I like lift bags of concrete and shit like that. So my diet's dog shit. That's the thing. I need to.
You're about to be like my son and go, "Hey, Dad, look at my muscles."
Yeah. No, it's. I have lost a little weight though, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
These guys lost tons of weight.
Oh, I'm sure. Fucking, I don't know how much protein's in penguin, so. Oh my God.
One fun fact I missed a little bit. When the 3 men arrived at Stromness Station on South Georgia, it was famously quoted that Ernest said, please come and take a picture of the 3 dirtiest men on the planet. I researched and researched. I dug and I dug and I dug and I dug. If there was a photo taken that day, I can't find it. There was a photo taken of them the next day, though.
I saw that.
They've had a shower and cleaned up a little bit.
Damn.
And there's also a picture of the actual island. If my understanding is correct, if the info on the internet is correct, Ernest Shackleton would have crossed this area in this photo of South Georgia Island. Ugh. Oh, and then there's... So I had mentioned how there was a videography. There was videos taken, and they are on this YouTube channel, 4K remastered. Absolutely incredible. Link will be in the description.
Yep. Maybe throw some...
Once again,
if I think about it,
Explorers Podcast, if anybody's curious, please link that as well.
Yeah, I'll throw some footage up as we go along if I remember.
You will remember. I put so much fucking work into this, you remember.
Fuck. I'm about to have to... You've made so much work for me now with all this fucking photos and all this shit.
It's not that bad. Come on.
So many things. Anyways. Well, goddamn.
See, if I thought about this at one point, I was like, man, like, what if I had him, like, put in, like, some ship sounds and some ocean sounds, some seagulls. Yeah, dude.
Waves. I do have some stock audio of just, like, waves and shit like that.
Okay. Every time I'm describing the ship on open water, I need waves.
You're asking a lot.
What do I pay you for?
You don't.
Oh.
Well,
yeah. I love that story.
Damn.
I'm so glad I got to share it with everybody.
So let's see. This is... What episode are we on? 35?
35.
So you have 10 episodes to do research on Rolled.
I do.
And do a part 2. Because Rolled sounds like he's way fucking... He got way more done.
He was way more successful.
Dude.
Way more successful on paper. But he didn't have the style.
Okay.
And he was a little bit of a dick.
Okay. All right. I mean...
And he was also the type of guy who's totally cool with scamming his investors and then just going the opposite direction.
Ernest did the fucking same thing. What do you mean?
How?
Didn't he, like, not pay back a bunch of people?
He did what he said he was going to do. Well, he didn't accomplish it, but he attempted to do what he said he was going to do. Roll didn't even attempt to do what he said he was going to do.
True. He was like, "Oh, I got lost. Oopsies." And fucking ends up
Whoops.
in
Made a left turn at
Antarctica.
Albuquerque.
Yeah. Damn. Oh, what a guy.
So, I
Is
don't have
that
anything else, man.
really? You were so worried about it taking like 3 or 4 hours. We talked
I
about possibly
was
splitting this
because
up.
I think I used too much spacing and I scared myself. But this script was 25 pages.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy. You do way more research than I do. I loosey goosey this shit every time.
Yeah, man. I'll be really honest with you. I researched pretty heavily for Randy Blythe, and I
Yeah.
feel like that episode turned out great.
Mm-hmm.
When I did the North Korea episode, I didn't do as much research as I should have, and I felt like that one didn't turn out as well. So this
Yeah.
time I was dialed in.
I gotcha. I know when I do these because we have very different approaches. I'll do like topical research where like I'm not gonna dive deep and like when I did the horses, I was like, I just wanted like topical information about the horses themselves and you get some fun facts in there. Or like, but the lolcows is all like shit that I just knew because my brain is full of that stupid information. So I didn't even have to. I could just fucking spout it out to you. Some of it I think got mixed up when I go back and watch that. I'm like, that's not right, but. It's like true for a different lolcow and not that one. You know, it's always weird. Plenty of other lolcows to cover, so maybe I'll do that again.
Dude, to be honest with you, my discovery of this whole thing came from a Reddit comment. I don't remember how or when or where, but somebody on Reddit said Ernest Shackleton and taking a lifeboat across the Drake Passage. And I immediately recognized the Drake Passage as a thing I'd heard of being a dangerous place. As I researched Ernest Shackleton, hours and hours and hours and hours later,
hole.
We've got a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, pretty impressive, honestly. It's always interesting to me when you can take one little thing and discover a whole. I remember as a band that I really like called Ginger Root, and I discovered them on Reddit as well, where it was just some random post that said, oh, I can't remember. It's commented something like funky elevator music or something like that, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. And I've watched it, and I've been a fan ever since. That their music is fantastic, and now they've since blown up, and you know, they're doing really well for themselves. But it's just always kind of interesting how you can kind of find, you know, one little thing kind of helps you discover something, and then you go down this rabbit hole, and next thing you know, lolcows, that is the same thing where it's like I found Cobra, and the rest was history. You know what I mean? It was just like this spiral descent into the deep dark tethers of the internet, and just.
Yeah.
These insane people, yeah.
Started with a Reddit comment about a guy crossing the ocean in a small boat and devolved into me listening to so many podcast episodes and watching YouTube videos and doing hours of research and discovering the heroic age of Antarctic exploration that I had no idea existed.
Yeah.
And all these cool, badass dudes with the biggest balls.
I'm curious if there's been any like films or movies made about old Ernest. I feel like that's a fucking solid story.
Yeah, like probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Let's do a quick Google here, shall we?
What are we thinking about? Oh, maybe something more recent, because I don't think anything. I feel like you need to have. I feel like something probably got made in like the 90s. It was like direct to TV, some shit. Direct to DVD type of movie.
Oh. Okay, this is a documentary that released in 2023 that follows explorer Tim Jarvis as he retraces Shackleton's legendary 1914 endurance expedition.
Okay.
Blends historical footage with modern reenactments. That could be cool.
Kind of neat.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of like a dramatized, like.
Looks like 2002. There's a movie called Shackleton. Another documentary in 2000. Right. Dude, honestly, we just need like I want like a fully.
All right.
I want Nick Cage in this motherfucker.
Dude, Nick Cage would make a great Tim McCarthy.
Yeah.
So this is our Hollywood pitch. We'll write a script. Never done that before. We'll write a script.
I just did.
Well, I'm saying we'll write a movie script.
What's the difference?
True. So we'll write a movie script. We'll put everything together. We'll Ernest style gather some investors, and let's get this fucking movie made, dude. I think it'd be that's a great fucking story.
The book that Ernest would put out later on was titled Through endurance, we conquer.
Oh, that's a fucking killer movie. Actually, you know what? Scratch all that. 6-episode HBO TV miniseries.
Special. Starring us.
I don't know about that. I don't want to be cold. We
We'll
can be
on a movie set, dude.
We could be writer, director,
really
producer. No, you got to do that. You want to do it
be
good.
writer, director, and star.
No, if you do it, who are you gonna play? What part are you gonna play?
I'm definitely playing Tom Crean. I want to play with those puppies.
One whole scene, a 10-minute shot of just you playing with puppies.
Dude, and he has a big badass pipe.
Yeah, he does.
Tom Crean was the manly man of the group, in my opinion.
Yeah, hell yeah. Those dogs are cute as hell. They ate him.
I know. They ate him.
Oh, God. Man.
Well, I've got nothing else.
Okay.
This is over 2 hours.
Yeah, we did it.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
If you're still here, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on all of our socials. It really, really helps us out. We do this for fun, but it's also cool to see interaction, see comments, all that sort of stuff. Let us know what you think about Tom Crean, Frank, Rold, all the other names. Captain Falcon, that dick. Fuck him. And of course, Sir Ernest. Golf clap for Kirby for doing all the research. Very interesting.
I would like to add on the topic of like and subscribe if you've made it this far and if you care. Yeah. I'd love a comment if maybe if I missed shit or if I entertained you today.
I there was a comment on the horse girl video talking about how I should have covered Simboli Rudolph more.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck?
I really should have. Once I started doing I did research after, and I was like, damn, she is fucking cool. That's a whole other can of worms we'll open. But anyways, that was fucking awesome, man. Thank you for that wonderful fucking journey. I now, even more so than at the start of this podcast, don't want to go to fucking Antarctica. That sounds awful. It sounds like an absolutely horrible time.
So for about $15,000 right now, you can get an all-inclusive trip from Chile to Antarctica, travel around, see some penguins, walk around on the ice, and then get back on the boat and go back to Chile. And that sounds cool, dude. Are you kidding?
No, fuck no.
Dude, I'm so much of the variety of doing something like that just to say I did it. I want to be one of the only human, not only, but one of the few humans on Earth to be able to say I walked on Antarctica.
That is a pretty small number of people. But also, I am a big fan of not doing that. I really,
really, really hate the cold.
I like the cold, but it's too cold. I've been to like Minnesota in the winter, and it's or like Montana in the winter. It is very miserable.
You just need a thicker jacket.
No,
and surround yourself with penguins for warmth.
I think that was the part that I like. Of all the fucked up parts of the story, that was the most fucked up. We're like, they had never seen humans. They just walk up to them. Come here, dinner. Oh my god.
Yeah. Just walked right up to hungry, starving men.
Yeah. They had no clue. Fuck.
They had no clue.
Bet them penguins knew after that 4 months. Just stay away from those assholes. Jesus.
All of a sudden, the whole island is empty. They ate them all.
Like bulging fat men now. Just like gorging themselves on penguin. They're eating penguin like 5-6 times. They're not even hungry. They're just eating them anyways.
Gotta get rid of these bastards. There's so many.
Oh my god. Feast or famine, truly.
All right.
Yep.
I would love to continue this for another 3 hours, and I think I could with the amount of details I had to leave out to fit this all into 2 hours for you. But I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. I know that was time well meant.
I have been dialed in to this drama.
Communication is alpha.